Imagine a life where you're not held back by societal expectations, but instead, you're empowered to be your true self. A life where you're not afraid to show your imperfections, but instead, you're confident in your uniqueness. This is the life that Ichiro Kishimi invites us to live in his groundbreaking book, The Courage to be Disliked. As we navigate the complexities of modern life, it's easy to get caught up in the cycle of people-pleasing and self-doubt. We are conditioned to believe that being liked and accepted by others is the key to happiness and success. But what if I told you that this approach is actually holding you back from realizing your true potential? By embracing the principles outlined in The Courage to be Disliked, you'll learn how to break free from the constraints of societal expectations and forge your own path in life. You'll discover that being disliked is not something to be feared, but rather a catalyst for self-discovery and growth. So, let's dive in and explore the key principles of this inspiring book. The root of our fears and insecurities lies in the way we are conditioned to think about ourselves and others. We are taught to prioritize being liked and accepted over being true to ourselves. This leads to a culture of people-pleasing, where we sacrifice our own needs and desires to avoid rejection or criticism. But what happens when we are not accepted by others? Do we crumble under the pressure, or do we use it as an opportunity to grow and learn? Take, for example, the story of a young artist who's struggling to find her voice in the competitive world of music. She spends years perfecting her craft, only to be told by industry professionals that she's not good enough. Instead of giving up, she uses this feedback as an opportunity to refine her sound and develop her unique style. By embracing her differences and taking risks, she's able to create a body of work that's truly authentic and meaningful. This is exactly what Ichiro Kishimi means by the courage to be disliked. It's not about seeking validation from others, but rather about developing the confidence to be ourselves, even if that means going against the status quo. So, how can we cultivate this courage in our own lives? One of the key principles outlined in The Courage to be Disliked is the importance of self-acceptance and self-compassion. These two concepts are often misunderstood as being soft or indulgent, but in reality, they're essential for building resilience and developing a growth mindset. When we are kind and accepting of ourselves, we are better equipped to handle setbacks and failures. We are more likely to take risks and try new things, because we are not afraid of failure or rejection. Take, for example, the story of a business owner who's struggling to stay afloat in a competitive market. Despite her best efforts, she's faced with constant setbacks and failures. Instead of giving up, she uses these experiences as opportunities to learn and grow. She practices self-compassion by acknowledging her fears and insecurities, and she cultivates self-acceptance by embracing her strengths and weaknesses. By doing so, she's able to develop a growth mindset and build a successful business that's truly authentic and meaningful. But how can we cultivate self-acceptance and self-compassion in a world that often values productivity and perfection over self-care? This is a question that many of us face, and it's one that Ichiro Kishimi tackles head-on in his book. He argues that our culture's obsession with productivity and perfection is actually a form of self-sabotage. By prioritizing these values over self-care and self-acceptance, we are creating a culture of burnout and anxiety. So, what's the solution? How can we cultivate self-acceptance and self-compassion in a world that's often hostile to these values? For starters, we need to redefine what success means to us. Instead of measuring our worth by our productivity and achievements, we need to focus on building a life that's true to ourselves. We need to prioritize self-care and self-acceptance, and we need to create space for failure and learning. This is the journey that The Courage to be Disliked invites us to take. It's a journey of self-discovery and growth, where we learn to cultivate the courage to be ourselves, even if that means going against the status quo. By embracing this journey, we'll discover that being disliked is not something to be feared, but rather a catalyst for self-discovery and growth. As we move forward on this journey, we'll encounter many challenges and obstacles. We'll face setbacks and failures, and we'll encounter people who don't understand or support our choices. But it's in these moments that we'll discover the true power of self-acceptance and self-compassion. We'll learn to be kind and accepting of ourselves, even when others are not. We'll develop a growth mindset and build resilience, and we'll cultivate the courage to be ourselves, even if that means going against the status quo. So, let's continue on this journey together. Let's explore the principles of The Courage to be Disliked, and how we can apply them to our own lives. By the end of this tutorial, you'll understand the key principles of this inspiring book and how to apply them to your life. You'll learn how to break free from the constraints of societal expectations and forge your own path in life. You'll discover that being disliked is not something to be feared, but rather a catalyst for self-discovery and growth. Let's get started on this journey together, and let's explore the power of nonconformity and self-discovery. As you continue on your journey to self-discovery, you're likely to encounter moments where you feel the courage to be disliked. You're on the path to embracing your uniqueness, and it's only natural that you'll face resistance along the way. But here's the thing, you have the power to shift your perspective, to reframe those negative thoughts and emotions that hold you back. You see, our thoughts and perspectives shape our experiences and emotions. They're the filters through which we see the world. And when we are stuck in a negative mindset, it's like looking through a dirty lens. Everything seems distorted, and we feel trapped. But what if I told you that you can clean that lens, that you can shift your perspective and see the world in a whole new light? It starts with becoming aware of your thoughts. Notice when you're getting caught up in negative self-talk or catastrophizing. Recognize the patterns, the triggers, and the emotions that accompany them. And then, take a step back. Ask yourself, is this thought really serving me? Is it based on facts or assumptions? Challenge those thoughts, and reframe them in a more positive, realistic light. You can start by using the 5-4-3-2-1 technique. Acknowledge 5 things you're grateful for 4 things you're looking forward to, 3 things you're proud of, 2 things you're excited about, and 1 thing you're grateful for in the present moment. But reframing negative thoughts is just the beginning. You also need to develop a growth mindset, one that allows you to see challenges as opportunities for growth and learning. When you face setbacks or failures, don't give up. Instead, ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? What would I do differently next time? By adopting a growth mindset, you'll build resilience, and you'll be better equipped to handle the ups and downs of life. Now, let's talk about the role of relationships and communication in our journey to self-discovery. When we are on this path, we often find ourselves questioning our relationships, wondering if the people around us truly support our growth. And that's a valid concern. How can we maintain healthy relationships and communicate effectively when we are on a journey of self-discovery? It starts with being honest and authentic with ourselves and others. We need to communicate our needs, our boundaries, and our desires in a clear and respectful manner. We need to listen actively, without judgment or assumption. And we need to be willing to grow and evolve together, as individuals and as a team. By doing so, we'll create a safe and supportive environment where we can explore our true selves, without fear of judgment or rejection. As you continue on your journey, remember that it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to stumble and fall. It's okay to be disliked. Because in the end, it's not about being liked or accepted by others. It's about being true to yourself. And that takes courage. The courage to be disliked is not just about embracing our uniqueness. It's about living a life that's authentic, meaningful, and fulfilling. Putting it all together, integrating the courage to be disliked into your life now that you've embarked on this journey of self-discovery, it's time to integrate the principles of the courage to be disliked into your daily life. This is where the rubber meets the road, and you start to see real progress. To do this, you'll need to create a personal growth plan and set achievable goals. First, take some time to reflect on what you want to achieve. What are your values and aspirations? What kind of person do you want to become? Write down your goals and make them specific, measurable, and attainable. For instance, instead of "I want to be happier," say "I want to practice gratitude for 10 minutes each day for the next 30 days. This will help you create a clear roadmap for your personal growth. Next, identify potential pitfalls and challenges that might derail your progress. Be honest with yourself. What are the things that might hold you back from achieving your goals? Is it fear of failure, lack of motivation, or something else? Once you're aware of these potential obstacles, you can develop strategies to overcome them. For example, if you're struggling with fear of failure, remind yourself that it's okay to make mistakes. In fact, mistakes are an essential part of the learning process. Instead of dwelling on what could go wrong, focus on what you can learn from the experience. Now, let's talk about advanced techniques for sustaining personal growth and self-discovery. One of the most powerful tools is mindfulness. By being present in the moment, you can let go of worries about the past or future and focus on what's truly important. Practice mindfulness through meditation, deep breathing, or simply paying attention to your senses. Another essential element is self-compassion. Treat yourself with kindness and understanding, just as you would a close friend. Be gentle with yourself when you make mistakes, and celebrate your successes. Remember, You're on a journey of self-discovery, and it's okay to stumble sometimes. Finally, integrate self-awareness into your daily life by recognizing your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. Pay attention to patterns and habits that might be holding you back, and make conscious choices to change them. By integrating the principles of the courage to be disliked into your life, you'll be empowered to be your true self and live a more authentic, fulfilling life. So, what are you waiting for? Start creating your personal growth plan, set achievable goals, and embark on this journey of self-discovery.